All right, Amy, so I'm going to be giving you the instructions for the day of surgery, okay? So, starting off, no food or drink after midnight. You're going to be showering with your Hibiclin soap the night before and the morning of surgery. The day you come in, you're not going to be wearing any jewelry, no deodorant, no makeup, nothing. You're going to come bare, all right? If you're anxious, we're going to give you a prescribed medication that you can take and that will calm your nerves down.
Список, что нужно взять с собой перед операцией, пишем.
All right, so packing your bag for surgery. What you're gonna bring is your medication. You're also gonna bring loose fitting clothes. That way, on your ride home, you're comfortable, and some sandals. All right.
Hey, doctor, I wanted to ask if it was an open rhinoplasty or a closed rhinoplasty. I also wanted to ask when can I go back into my activities like personal training, and I wanted to know how long am I gonna see my results. I wanted to know when the bruising will go away, when the swelling will go down. I also wanted to know when I could be going back into my daily activities. How long am I going to see the results? When am I able to go back into work? When am I able to expect to see my final results? I really wanted to know when I could go into daily activities like going out, and the bruising, when is it going to go down? All right, doctor, so I do have some worries. I really don't want that piggy nose. I don't want that Michael Jackson nose. I really want a natural, beautiful result. I really don't want to get a very plastic look into my nose. I want a very natural look, a very subtle, like I got something done, but you don't know what I got done. I don't want a very fake look. I don't want anything to look very done. I want it to look very subtle.
First of all, I wanted to apologize. I'm a little bit late because I was getting my hair colored, and I think the left product on for a little bit too long. But anyways, I'm here. How are you?
Good.
And tell me, what were you interested in today?
I just wanted to go ahead and get my nose. I wanted to get a rhinoplasty. I was wondering if it was open rhinoplasty or closed rhinoplasty.
Okay. Before I get to that part, what is it that was bothering you on the nose? When you see in the mirror or take a picture, what is it that you notice first thing that bothers you?
The first thing is my profile, which is the bump.
So the bump is the main thing.
The bump is
Do you have
the
any
main
breathing
thing.
problems?
At all? No, not really.
Not really?
Never.
Never traumatized your nose when you were a child or anything like that? Boxing?
Yes, I did break my nose when I was little, I believe. I just never fixed it.
Okay. So one side or the other, you never noticed more difficulty breathing?
Never.
Not at all. Okay. All right. So first, I wanted to apologize because I'm a little bit late. I was getting my hair colored, and I think I left the product on a little bit too long. But anyways, I'm here now. So tell me, what is it that you wanted to do today?
I really was looking into having a rhinoplasty. The bump, the profile of my nose really bothers me.
So when you look at a picture or you're looking in the mirror, the first thing that you focus in on is the bump of your nose?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any history of trauma to the nose? Have you ever broken it?
I did fall when I was younger. I did break my nose. I just never fixed it.
Okay. And now, do you have any breathing difficulties?
No.
Okay, let me see something. Let me just see. Take a deep breath in. Okay. Deep breath in. See? That sounds like you got a little bit. Now, does this feel better?
Yeah.
Does that feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do have a little bit of difficulty breathing. Interestingly enough, you hadn't noticed it. So you might have a little deviated septum on the inside from the fracture that you had before. How long have you been thinking about getting your nose done?
For years now. For about 4 to 5 years.
Okay. Have you had any other consultations at all for it or no?
Never.
Never? Okay. Because there's a few things that I'm noticing on the nose. Number one is that there's a little bit of an obstruction at some point, so I'll take a look on the inside. But from the outside, I notice that the tip is a little bit too wide. You have a little bit of a hump here. There's a little bit of a width problem too up in the upper part of the nose. So these are things that we can really try to improve on with the rhinoplasty. Now, the typical question always is, how do you do the nose? Do you do it open or closed, which is kind of like what you asked.
Yeah.
And I tend to do it open. It's a tiny little incision. It's probably the best incision in plastic surgery. You can barely see it, but it's like lifting the hood up from the car. You're able to see everything that's there, so I'm able to work the bone specifically, the cartilage specifically, but I'm looking at it directly instead of kind of doing it blindly. So in my hands, I prefer the open. Some guys do it closed, but I just prefer the open.
Yeah. I think that's better too.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, rhinoplasties usually take me about an hour and a half to do, depending on the complexity. Yours is relatively straightforward. We're going to be thinning out the tip, thinning out the nose, taking out a little bit of the hump that you have, fixing some of the breathing problems. So it's usually done under general anesthesia. Like I said, about an hour and a half. I'm going to have little stitches that go here. They usually come out at about 5 to 7 days. The biggest thing is that at first I leave little packings in the nose because I want to support everything that I've done. And those packings will come out 24 hours after the surgery. So it's not really a painful operation at all. I had it done and I had no pain. My biggest problem is I'm a little claustrophobic, so I had a little bit of problems breathing. So sometimes I'll leave some tubes that you can breathe through even though I've packed the nose. So there's ways around that. I'll put a cast on you. That cast usually comes off between 7 to 10 days, depending on how much you're swelling and how your nose is progressing. And I sometimes change the cast at about 4 to 5 days. You might get black and blue. The majority of my patients do not. I would say 90-95% don't because of the technique and how we do it. But one thing I will suggest is going on arnica pills. You start about 3 days before, and you're going to take it about 7 to 14 days after surgery, and that'll help a lot in terms of the bruising. Ice packs immediately after surgery. So if you do get black and blue, it lasts for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then it kind of goes away. But you can use camouflage makeup so that really nobody can tell that you had it. Getting back to work, it really depends on how you feel and how comfortable you are with wearing a cast. If you don't want to wear a cast, give me about a week to 10 days. If you don't mind going with a cast, then usually at about 3 days you can get back to work. I don't want you using glasses at first because it does squeeze things in a little bit. Sometimes I will put you on glasses, so I'll vary it depending on what's going on. If I want those bones to squeeze in, I might put those little glasses on there to help the bones stabilize, so it really varies. But heavy working out, because it increases pressure in here, I don't want you getting bleeding or anything like that, so I don't want you doing that for about a month. I don't want you to really blow your nose freestyle. I mean, what I want you to do is support it because I've moved the bones in, so I need you to support the bones. And kind of blew, I almost blew one, sorry. So you kind of go like that, and then you blow it into the napkin, so it's a soft blow. And then I want you to use ocean spray a lot because that'll really help moisturize things because the nose tends to dry up.
And how long is it to see my results?
That's a great question. You know what? The nose changes for up to a year. So final results is usually about a year, and some people it could take even longer. The way I kind of put it is like 30 to 50% of the swelling will go away over the first month. Then in the next 2 to 3 months, you'll get another 20 to 30%. And then I'd say there's about 5% that keeps on going for the last 6 months of your recovery process. But again, getting back to work will be anywhere between 3 to 10 days, depending on whether you want to go with a cast or not with it. The nose will look really good in the beginning. It'll look nice. Sometimes it may look upturned depending on how you swell or downturned depending on how you swell, but all that stabilizes over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So the nose can do 3 things. It can look great, it can look a little upturned, or it can look a little bit down depending on how you swell it, and everybody swells differently. Bottom line is that at about 2 weeks, you're starting to look pretty darn good. At about a month, you're looking really good, but you're still swollen. It just still looks a little weird. 3 months, you're starting to look pretty darn good, and it starts to look good in pictures, but not quite yet. And at 6 months, it looks fantastic on pictures.
So I want a very natural look. I want something that's going to look like she had something done, but they aren't quite sure on exactly what it is. Not the Michael Jackson thin nose and no piggy nose, because that's my worst fear.
I think those are the exact fears that everybody brings. I got to tell you, Michael Jackson comes up in every rhinoplasty conversation. But that took about 30 surgeries. It wasn't just one. That took a lot of surgeries. As a matter of fact, we're struggling to keep that nose thin. So it's almost impossible to get it that thin on a one-shot deal. So people that have very thick noses, it's many, many, many surgeries. So that's not. Now the piggy nose, that's something that can definitely happen. And that's why we got to really be careful when we're in there. That's why I like opening things up, laying down all the cartilages, doing all my work that I need to do to try to prevent that. Your nose has a good length on it, so I'm not really worried about it. It's people that have a short nose that tend to have that issue big time, and those people, you got to lengthen the nose. So it just depends on where you're at in terms of the risk of getting a piggy nose, but you're pretty darn good. I really like where you're at. There is droopiness. You need a little bit of volume in the bottom part. I'll show you on my computer program where I start to morph your nose, but I'm with you. All right, so this is an incredible program because it allows me to show you so that me and you are on the same page what it's going to look like. So this is kind of a simulation, but let me show you. So what you mentioned that the hump is one of the things that really bothers you. Watch this, and I'm going to show you in a minute. It's going to take me a little bit to work on this because I might not get it right the first time, but I'll show you. Here we go. Look, watch this. Before, after. Now, is that tip too long for you?
Slightly, a little
Okay,
bit.
so let's adjust that a little bit. Thoughts on this? Hold on one second. Compare. Now look at that there, and then look at it there.
Yes.
That look better for you?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to show you is, let me show you a side-by-side shot, because this is where you can really see the difference. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The difference really comes out when you do the side-by-side. So you see the hump. Your nose is a little bit short, so I had to lengthen it a little bit. So I will have to do that using cartilage. I had to reduce a little bit of what we call the ala. The ala is that little overhanging thing. It's a little bit too long. I had to add a little bit of fat here. I had to lengthen the nose and take that down. So I got several steps in you that are a little bit different. These are fine details that some people see, some people don't. They don't pay attention to them, but look how pretty that nose looks. Now, if you want me to get really fancy, a lot of the times you can put stuff into proportion. And now what I want you to see is take a look at this view. I'm going to do a compare first. Watch this. Look at that. Now, let me show you side by side. View, side by side. Look at it. That's unbelievable. I mean, it looks super gorgeous.
Wow.
So I really, really love it. I think you're an amazing candidate for it. Again, it'll take me about an hour and a half to do this. All right, so anesthesia, I usually do it under general anesthesia. I don't want you to feel anything, wake up, or anything like that, so I'll do general. It'll take me about an hour and a half, around there. One of the things that I want to remind you is don't take any aspirin type products or Motrin. Those can create bleeding afterwards, and it makes it a little bit tougher. So if you have headaches, pain, or anything before surgery, take Tylenol. After, you're good to go, but beforehand, give me at least 2 weeks or 10 days before you do that. No ginkgo biloba, none of these exotic over-the-counter stuff either. All right, so I'm super excited. I think we'll see you the day of the surgery. I'm really super, super excited with the nose because I think I can make a lot of changes. You're gorgeous, but when I'm looking at you, my eyes kind of go to the nose first, and I want to go to the eyes to focus on that. So I think that this will really enhance it, and people are just going to go, "You look great. Did you sleep better? What's going on? What makeup?" They won't be able to tell it's your nose.
And that's my goal.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
I'm going to Dr. Mendieta's office to have my consultation with him to do my rhinoplasty. I'm very excited. I decided to go with him because he's been doing surgeries for over 25 years, so I'm really confident in his work. I decided to work with him because I'm really confident in his work. I've been researching him for a long time. His staff is always really attentive to me every time I call. Because I was really nervous about this rhinoplasty, but they really made me feel sure that I was going to be in good hands, and I already knew that he did really, really, really good work. So I'm really worried about a very piggy nose or a very Michael Jackson nose. That's my biggest concern. I want a very natural looking nose, something that people are going to see a change but not know what it is. I feel like it's really going to build my confidence in taking side photos because that's my biggest insecurity. I don't like the profile of my face, so I get really insecure and I don't like to take certain photos, like when I'm out with my friends and they think I'm being dramatic, but it's really my biggest concern. I decided to do the surgery because the profile, the bump of my nose really does bother me. I've been contemplating it for a couple years now, but I finally built the courage and found the doctor that I really wanted to go to and decided to book my consult. Well, my name's Amy Caballero. My name's Amy and I'm 22 years old. I do personal training for a living. I love training clients. I'm going into this consultation excited, ready to meet the doctor. My name's Amy and I'm getting a rhinoplasty with Dr. Mendieta. I'm very excited to go in for this consultation and really answer all my questions that I have been holding in. I'm 22 years old. I do personal training for a living, and I really think that this surgery will build up my confidence into not being shy around people because the profile of my nose really does bother me, and I feel like it gets in the way of my activities and my clients. Honestly, I feel very insecure. Well, when I called his office for the first time, I felt very welcomed. They were excited to help me, and I felt very secure on going to that clinic because everybody was so sweet. They answered all my questions. They didn't hesitate to share some experiences because some of the girls there got their rhinoplasty with the doctor, so that made me feel 100 times more better. It was really refreshing. I live in Miami because it's a variety of people. I love it. I was born and raised here. And Dr. Mendieta is here.
Your family think about?
They think I'm crazy.
What
But do you want me to lie or do you want me to say the truth? Because everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants me to do my nose. I decided to do my nose because I just really wanted to fix the profile of my face. The only thing that I'm really not happy about would be the bump. I did break my nose when I was little. I just always avoided it. They told me that it wasn't a big deal. It was just a minor little bump, but I feel like I really want to fix that bump.